Good morning, everyone. This week we learn about Jacob and his 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. And our rabbis point out something very interesting. We had three patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham had two sons, Isaac and Ishmael. One followed in the path of Abraham, but Ishmael veered off the path of Abraham. Isaac had two sons, Jacob and Esau. Jacob continued on the path of his parents and his grandparents, but Esau veered off on his own path and direction. But Jacob, in this week's Torah portion, is the only patriarch who all 12 of his sons remain loyal and faithful to his Jewish heritage and traditions. As our rabbis say, mitaso shlema, his bed was complete, meaning all of his progeny remained righteous. And the question is, what was the secret to Jacob's parenting versus Abraham and Isaac's? And our Hasidic masters explain that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob represent three characteristics that every human being possesses. The first one is loving kindness, chesed, love. The second one is gevurah, which means strength and discipline. And then the third one is Jacob, which is tiferet, beauty. What is the difference between the three styles of parenting? Abraham was all about love. You know, we always say when you have children, you have to love them unconditionally. Celebrate them for who they are. But the problem with that is that what's if your children are not reaching their potential? What's if you feel that they're not being challenged enough? What's if they are settling for mediocrity? Well, the love approach is, well, just accept them for who they are. But Isaac says no, gevurah. You need to have discipline. You need to have strength. You need to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. You have to go further. You have to achieve more. Isaac refuses to accept his children the way they are. He sees them for their potential and continuously challenges them to reach their potential. So the problem with Abraham's style is that if you just love your children for who they are unconditionally, then they may not be motivated to achieve more. As opposed to the challenge with Isaac's style is that if you're always pushing your children and demanding more from them, they may feel that you don't value them for who they are. And you're always only expecting more from them and not satisfied with them. Here comes the approach of Jacob, who synthesizes and blends both approaches. On the one hand, he sees his child for his potential and says, you could do better, you could do more. On the other hand, he says, I love you now where you're at, and I celebrate you for who you are now. And therefore, the child receives both the unconditional love of Abraham, but at the same time, the love of, I see that you can do better, and I want you to achieve and maximize your abilities and potential in life. And that's Tiferes, the beauty of the synchronization and the blending of both approaches. And that's what Jacob teaches us, to use, as King Solomon says, the right hand and the left hand in raising children. The right hand to embrace and to love, but the left hand to challenge and even to rebuke. And by bringing both of those attributes together, we achieve what Jacob succeeded in doing, and having all of his children follow the proper path. There's a story about Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twersky, a blessed memory. He says that one year when he was a little child of 8 years old, there was a guest in his home on Rosh Hashanah. And after the services in the afternoon, the guest said to him, would you like to play a game of chess? And Rabbi Twersky said, are you allowed? He was an 8-year-old boy. He said, am I allowed to play chess on Rosh Hashanah? And the man, who was a religious man, said, yeah, there's no prohibition against playing chess on Rosh Hashanah. Well, later that afternoon, at the Mincha service, his father was a rabbi in a synagogue. His father called him up to his study, and he said, Avremela, is it true that you played chess this afternoon on Rosh Hashanah? And he said, yeah, Tati, I did. I mean, the guest asked me, and I asked him if it's okay. He said it's okay. And his father said, you know, Avremela, it is permissible, but there are much better things to do on Rosh Hashanah than play chess. You should be praying and saying psalms and thinking about the year ahead. And he felt bad. He said, okay, Abba, Tati, I'm sorry. I'll know for next time. And as he turned to leave his father's study, his father called him back and said, Avremela. He turned around, and with a big smile, his father said, did you win the game? And he said, yeah, I won. And his father said, good. That's an example of, on the one hand, telling your child, you can do better. But at the same time, I love you and celebrate you for who you are right now. Have a wonderful day.